baka bak. The bok is very similar to the wok, as in waka waka. The waka waka was developed from the bok. Gonzo had a deep love for chickens. You know that. It was a chicken fetish. I'm not muted. It was a chicken fetish. And the bok turned into the wok. One of the reasons why Fozzie Bear, who I love more than... It is hard for me to pick a favorite Muppet. I'm already mourning the loss. Of admitting this. I'm already mourning the loss. Zeke. God, Zeke, the amount of effort you put into that Boomerang Fish Act is tenable. I can feel it. And I do not mean this. But Fozzie Bear, he's always been in my heart. Always. Good morning, all. Let me make sure my Illuminati pin is here. Illuminati confirmed. The fact that no one thought he was funny, but he really wanted to fit in, the sheer heart that man, the fact that he even wore a bow tie, no one really notices this, that the entire purpose of the bow tie, he was trying to disarm you. The dude was a bear. A living bear. He had no choice. If he wanted to fit in, he had to conform. He actually could not be funny. If Fozzie the Bear was truly funny, the people around him wouldn't... They'd be like, this is not going to work. There's a certain kind of energy afloat around here. And you feel it. And I feel it too. I do. I'm not muted, right? Good morning, all. The artist Geraldine Lit Blue looks like a gray painting. Are you guys seeing the stream started on Rockfin? Let me make sure it's on Rockfin. You guys don't see that? Because I hit the button. Not playing on YouTube. Aww. Oh, I think I know what I did. Are you guys here? Is everybody here? Shit. Yeah, I know what I did now. I didn't hit a button. Oh, man. And I hit the Rockfin button. All right. I need a mod to tell me everything's good. Just go, James. Are we... Because if not, I'll restart. I am sorry. This is my fault. I realized what I did. I did hit the Rockfin button, and I was all proud of myself. I need to not ever be proud of myself. It's always... The problem always comes when I'm like, and I was really proud of myself. Yes, we hear it's been on YouTube. Yeah, I think what happened, Flayed Earth, is that you saw a new link, but everyone else was actually notified about this old link, is what I think has probably happened. But we should be good now. We got 75. Holy cow, that same eye is on my screen right there. There's some power there. We have 75 witnesses on the airship on YouTube, and we have 21 witness eye. A plural of witness is a witness eye. We have, oh my God, holy shit! Somebody dropped some coin. Man, look at this coinage. Graham, Ariel, holy jeez, guys, thank you. There's another one, but it doesn't show me. Oh no, there's another one and it doesn't show me, and it looks like a really big one. Crap, it doesn't show me. Oh, I wanted to thank them too. There's someone else there. I'm getting there, guys. Man, that's a big... Wow, thanks, Rockfin. Somebody dropped a big thing, and it doesn't show me, but it shows me the amount too. All of you dropped a big thing. But one of you might... I want to make sure... Hey, did you drop this? Did you drop this on purpose? Is this yours? That kind of thing. You know, when I was like... Gosh, I guess I was like 11 or 12. Mr. Trumpeter came over and he sat down in the lazy boy chair and he leaned back and was talking, probably having a beer with my dad. He was, yeah, they hung out. So he'd come over and I didn't actually see him lean in the chair. I wasn't actually a part of this. I'm just saying that it formulated in my mind that this probably is what happened. But Mr. Trumpeter dropped his money clip into that chair, and it was forever gone. And the only thing in the money clip was the piece of metal and the cash. It wasn't like a wallet. It did not say property of Mr. Trumpeter, nor was I in the mode of life where I could have discerned who it actually belonged to. I'm not saying that I didn't think about it. I'm just trying to tell you that it's not like when I saw it, I was like, this has to belong to Mr. Trumpeter. I really wasn't that. I found it, though. I found it. And when I found it, I thought maybe God loved me. I thought I was special when I found it. I thought that there, and I'm purposely saying that. I thought God loved me. This is a very important part of this flow. So before you're typing, oh, but James, it's so, you gotta, look, I am a dark worker. Look at the episode. Will you please look at the episode title? Please. Let me just go here, okay? It's an important part of the formula. I thought that God loved me. I'm not even implying that I didn't think he did. But I thought that, wow, God really loves me. He really wants me to buy more magic tricks. There was a time where, for me, going to Mecca was going to East Ridge, about 35 miles away, and going to this magic shop in this strip mall. All the secrets of the universe I felt were there. I was only there once for 7 minutes. So a lot of this was me pouring a lot of prana into this magic land called this magic shop. I felt that there was like a ripple in time because it was so well seeded into the normalcy of East Ridge and the strip mall. But here inside was a fucking literal magic shop. And the things that I painted in there were just profound. I could not wait to go. And when that money clip came, I actually remember saying, my God, I've been chosen. My God, I've been chosen. It was like, it was the occult golden ticket into the chocolate factory. And I was holding the very torch of Prometheus in my hands. It was probably like $60 fucking or something, like huge. Like it was like such a large treasure that I was like a different person. I was just so awestruck by the high of it all that I really could not fathom that I was not the person that was supposed to benefit. I had a brother that was 2-3 years older than me. It felt to me like it would have been much more normal had he found it. That he had been the one that was bequeathed this fucking magic ticket into the store. I could not go to the magic store because my mom knew me well, and her take on stores was, if you don't have money, you're not going to buy something, and I'm not going to hang out in a store because you will never leave. And then when I ask you to leave, you will treat me like shit, and I don't want that kind of prana economy with you, Jimmy. She didn't use those words, but I think that's compassionating as I can be. That's pretty much where it is, right? She's like, I got shit to do. You're only going to the magic store if you, and so in her mind, she's like, well, this'll knock this shit right out, right? It's like problem solved. And in my mind, I had this solution. I was like, so you're telling me there's a chance, right? And the chance was, if I had a specific thing that I needed to go get, that in the process of going to get that specific thing, I could elicit an elaborate manipulation of time and space itself and literally warp the entire experience and knead it out like a bread and bake the largest French loaf you've ever seen that sticks way the fuck out of the basket. I mean, way the fuck out of the basket, right? You literally can't go under the bridge because of how long this loaf is. It's a breadstick just barely hanging on, right, by the friction of it all. Yeah, it was really dope. Man, and then that asshat, Mr. Trumpeter, walked in the house. I was in my bedroom or something. This had been days. This wasn't like within hours, right? But I remember the timbre of his voice in the foyer. Yes, we had a foyer. It was wonderful. And in that foyer began a search. They were looking for Nazis. And he was looking for the money clip. And he I think at that point I maybe come out or I probably just had really fucking good sonar and I could like literally see him. I was like, ping, the bogey is at 4:00. Ping, bogey is heading for the chair. Bing, holy fuck, this is not my gift from God. And it was like this whole operatic event. And I decided I will freeze. I will wait this shit out. That I will hold on to this torch because this is a test. I am being tested right now. I am being asked, are you worthy to hold this fire, James? Or are you simply going to give it away? How do you know? How do you know that is his money clip? How do you know that Mr. Trumpeter needs the dark magic from Eastridge? And he's discovered this flaw, that he's dropped the golden ring in the wrong hands. And he must find the Gelfling and suck his essence through a straw. And I was torn between two towers. And the eye of Sauron was burning through my brain. And I chose wrong. Oh, I chose wrong. Two giant trolls came into the bedroom. Hey, Jimmy, did you see a money clip under the chair? And it's just like, the essence was just, oh. I did not want to let go of that magic, people. I did not want to let go. And I lied. Oh, I lied. Mr. Trumpeter was a lawyer for Coca-Cola. And James True was going to lie to him. Boom, boom, boom. The most powerful lawyer probably in the country had me in his sights, my friends. I was cornered in my very bedroom, protected with nothing more than a few Mad magazines. Literally the only protection I had. And I stood up to him and I said, no, I did not see it. I did not see it. And I was the fucking Black Knight. I was invincible. And you could cut off my arms and it wouldn't matter. You could cut off my head, it wouldn't matter. You could cut off my legs, it would not matter. I would not fold. I was going to the East Ridge Mini Mall, to that magic store. Oh, man. I knew that I could not suddenly, I was smart enough to know You know what? Tonight at dinner's probably not the time to bring up that you suddenly have inherited some money from a long lost aunt or an uncle that they don't know about, or that I had found it. I had decided that I was going to claim that I had found it, and that I was even trying to work out a way where I could give Mr. Trumpeter the money clip back as if I felt bad that he lost something and here's a money clip. All of those evil things were there because I wanted that magic so bad. I wanted it so bad. I was willing to kill to find someone that loved me the way I love. It's the exact same kind of energy where the power and the energy of that quest simply is more important than you. It just is. And it could be more important than you because you have a low self-esteem, but it actually could be more important than you because it is more important than you. And that is a sovereign decision to say, that magic shop is more important than me. And I was able to fall from that Tower of Sauron and forever land in this black La Brea tar pit of darkness, evil, and shame. And for months, I hid that money because I was trying to hide it out. I knew if I waited long enough, I could still redeem all of these things. And I could prove myself somehow to the shop owner in the magic shop in East Ridge. I want you to know, I'm literally not exaggerating like any of this. Like the soundtrack, all of it. It was like seriously monumental. This is not even what I'm going to talk about today, but it really did make me a dark worker. I am a dark worker. I am not a light worker. All of the light that I've seen in my life doesn't help you for shit. I could spend all of my time telling you about how light I was and how great I was and how I did this and how I did that. I could do all that. And I do. I fucking do. It's fashion, right? But it's actually not why you watch me. You watch me because I am a dark worker. And I've been lying to you guys the whole time. Like I really wasn't ready to fully embrace all of these labels. And I'm sorry about that. I have done horrible things. Horrible. I fessed up to my dad about, it was in my 20s. It took like a long time. I told Mr. Trumpeter, but I didn't hear back from him. There could be some litigation. I probably shouldn't talk any further. I don't know the statute of limitations on these things. I did make it to that East Ridge magic shop. It was fucking horrible. It was horrible. When it came down to it, the occult secrets that I discovered and it probably wasn't $60. I'm sure I squandered it on whores. So the $30 maybe that actually made it to that magic store, it took a lot. I was having to spend that money to maintain this haunting. I was haunted, right? And you lose energy holding that possession. What does possession mean but to hold something, right? So any kind of possession is literally just going to be the calories it takes to hold something. And You know what's weird about being a dark worker is that you only become a dark worker when you start to leverage the torque of that pit while you were there. And when I say while you're there, I literally mean 5 years after that pit. Me telling Mr. Trumpeter what I did in my 20s was all for me. You know that. It meant nothing to him. Coca-Cola lawyers don't have a problem coming up with $60. It's the money clip could have meant a lot to him. I don't know if it did. It could have been a very sacred, sentimental thing. It would kill me to find that out. If it was, I didn't know. I don't know. I actually had gotten in trouble from the trumpeters for something else that I don't even think was my fault. I was babysitting. When I was babysitting, I did something to their bathroom, and I did not fucking know that happened. I did not know because I actually was engaged in the job of babysitting. If I would have known, I would have fucking called right away. I would have literally said, "Hey guys, you should probably get here. I don't really know what to do. There's like a big problem, and it's not even like it's no big deal. There's like homunculus is like loose, and I don't know what to do." And I think that they thought that I actually ignored that. And I think that my prana economy saw an opportunity to even be punished by them, to even feel that sort of thing. And so my sick ass was like, "Oh, I'm so glad they're mad at me about that." And this is what adults do. Adults live their whole life like this. They do. It takes a certain amount of energy to find the place where you can look back and see these things. And that energy doesn't come from being a light worker. Shut the fuck up with that. Seriously. It comes from being a dark worker. That's literally where it comes from. What you're watching, the Vanity Olympics, oh, I'm so disgusted by Hollywood, or oh, I'm so disgusted by the media, or even, oh, I'm so disgusted by how stupid people are. You are disgusted by people doing dark work. And they're only going to be able to make it dark work by having this kind of electricity required to go back, even if it takes 5 years, even if it takes 10 years, to go back and say, "Fuck, dude, I totally did this." That's the dark worker. And the sooner you sniff this out, the sooner you begin to level up. And I don't even want you to level up. Do you know why I don't want you to level up? You know why I'm always like, no, let's not ascend, okay? Let's not all sit around and ascend, because when you ascend, you're pretending that you do not create the homunculus. Only a few of you even know what I'm talking about. I hope you appreciate this subtlety. But only a few of you even understand how you need the analogy to be that gross, because it would have to be that hard to accept these things about ourselves. You might think that I just think it's funny that I'm telling you about the trumpeter thing, but this actually came to me as we started the stream, and I'm just really just flowing through it. I didn't put this drama together when it was happening. This drama happened to me, and I spent the rest of my life trying to forget it. Dark work. You know where I got this dark work from? From doing dark work. From doing dark work. NASA has a $56 million a day dark work budget. They're not doing light work, they're doing dark work. I think they're helping more. I think NASA is helping wake people up more than the people that are saying, "NASA's the one. If NASA would stop lying, all of us would be free." I don't mind us poking fun at NASA, but I'm saying if we're here to do dark work, if we're here to be the Heyoka, who is secreting more medicine? NASA? Or the people that scapegoat NASA? It's a question. I'm not here to tell you it's one way or the other. I really don't care. I'm not in a war on consciousness anymore. I have released that bounty. You've released me from that duty. I'm no longer responsible for like, all right, guys, we got to train for vitriol. We gotta learn to take it in. I think that shit's important. I love doing that work. I still do it on my private life. We still do it on the airship. But the show itself, it's not going to work for that. We are surrounded by light workers. We're surrounded by people that want to expose everything and simultaneously insist that the Luciferian, the literally the word that means to bring light to something, is the bad thing. It's a two-headed hydra, right? We must have light workers. The light bringers are the evil ones. Yes. Go. And that's TV, right? That's professional wrestling. Could there be any more professional wrestling than that? We are dark workers. We are dark workers. And we are moving through the current of time. I say current because today, according to Sarcastic Warlock, today is International Cult Day. Now, I need you to know, I don't fucking know if it is that day. Sark could have just been fucking with me. I respect that about him. And for him to even use International Cult Day as like a thing for that is pretty hilarious. So it could not be International Cult Day. And I want you to know that because it actually could not be International Cult Day, in a weird ass fucking way, that kind of makes it International Cult Day. Some of you might be having math problems with this. I totally get it. The problem is when you're carrying the negative, when you're moving the negative to the other side of the equal sign, you've already got a negative in the numerator, and the denominator, you're like, wait a minute, shouldn't I get it. But this is, you just have to go with it, man. You don't have to, but if you do, then you'll enjoy. It's literally the definition of a cult. And on International Cult Day, it's the day after I came out and admitted, holy fuck, I am the Lucifer. I think that the timing of all these things is crucial. It's crucial to understand the dark work. And I've been watching the subscribers drop. There's not been a lot. We've actually done a lot of cleaning around here. But about 12 subscribers dropped. There's a lot of, it's about time you exposed how evil you were. Like, it's hilarious that someone's like typing that and they're like, I'm such a light worker. Oh, I'm such a light worker as I type. I'm so good that you're finally exposing yourself for the evil that you are because I am the light worker. That shit cracks me up. And I really should have been doing this magic sooner, really. I really should have. And so we did a dojo exit survey, and I posted it everywhere because I was hoping people that had been to dojo but had decided that I was the problem, or that dojo wasn't them, that some of them left on pretty admirably angry circumstances. My hope was actually to reach them. I want every bit of the feedback, and I especially want to make sure that I put the effort in to gather that dark stuff too. It's not really that the dark stuff helps me more, but the dark stuff really helps me understand who those people were and who those people are. And this is something that we've been discussing a little bit lately, because as your aperture learns to burn through the fog, you become the enemy of the state. The state being the state of mind in the room. I want you to sit with this a second. Your witness is searing. The dark work that I did, I actually found an invisible book, and I turned to the back, and in the back there were X-ray glasses for sale for $60, shipping included. And if I would take that $60 and mail it to that P.O. box in Pueblo, Colorado, that I would get these X-ray glasses that would allow me to see through you. And so I did. And I have them now. And you have them too. Some of you are learning to clean them. Some of you are getting your prescriptions adjusted. Some of you are doing the Bates method to exercise your eyes, to allow yourself to see. And this therapeutic course that we have together is allowing you to hone in on that through pacing, literally pacing. My compassion is running a 4-minute mile. It's not a world record, but it's pretty fast. And being able to have this x-ray, when you are seeing that too, you're like, oh, geez, I could see better. 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 And the entire time you're perfecting your form because you're noticing, wow, James didn't lose electricity over ego when someone said his ego was big. Wow, James didn't lose electricity when someone called a Luciferian. Wow, James didn't lose electricity when someone called him this. Wonder why that is. And you try and tell yourself it's because he's fake, or it's because he's a doper, or he's because of this, or he's because of that, and all this. Hey, man, whatever you want to say, I don't mind. I'm too busy fucking running like a deer. I am fucking carving through this plasma wind. I don't fucking care. Do you know why I don't care? It's because of this Luciferian thing. I'm not asking any of you to become a Luciferian. I don't even think you should. I'm not asking when you hear my stream. I hope that you know how much love and compassion I still put into Christianity. My last book is showing you just how deep this cot goes. And even when people I've always insisted, no. I am a Christian. I was raised in that forge. We'll always have that archetype. It's seasoned me. And since I was 5, I've had people that are Christians insist you're the devil or you shouldn't be and all that. And I'm just one of the few people that had these x-ray glasses, and I put them on and I could look at someone and I could say, wow, you're holding something. You're possessed. You're angry because of the fact that I can see. If I didn't see what I just said I saw, you would not be mad at me. These people are showing you the power of your x-ray glasses. You are rude as fuck. You understand? You are the rude one because you're walking in and you're the only one that can see these things. And people at first are kind of like, hey, how's it going? Yeah. They feel the prickly, they feel the pilation of your hairs. Their hairs, I'm sorry. The pilation, their pores open, they dilate. They are sensing your witness, and it's happening under their clothes. And some people find it exciting, but most people are like, this is very uncomfortable. I don't like this at all. Now, you can be a bitch like me and say, oh, I'm not those things. You can't call me that. You can't call me that. And that was me saying, I don't want it in the coffin. I don't want it in the coffin. I don't want it in the coffin. That's really what I was saying. If it were not for it, I got to tell you guys, being a dark worker, it's all about grievance. Some of you think the airing of grievance is a time when we're being negative, and I'm telling you, yes. Yeah, what if we took the opportunity to alchemize the negative? What if we actually had a pause where we're like, and now I would like to bring forth the negative, right? And so we do that. We do that here. It's not something that happens a lot. And sure, the joke is hilarious because it comes from Joy Costanza, right? It's funny, but it's also true. I need to pull up the slides on this computer, so give me a sec. In fact, speaking of grievance, I'm going to play this little interlude. Grievance. If you have a grievance, you can leave it. But I'm doing this to pull up the slides. Yeah. I'm going to have to... Okay, let's see, slides, and then if I do this, I should see it right there. Give me a second. Mm-hmm. Is that it? There we go. No, it's the wrong one. I'm looking for principles. Principles of Dojo. There it is. There we go. Okay, so to get us, I'm finally getting to the actual part of the show. There's actual point here. I still like that story though, so if you don't like it, I don't fucking care. I am Luciferian. Why do I fucking care if you don't like my stuff, right? If you're gay, you come out of the closet. That's what it's called, right? Like, oh, he came out of the closet. And when you think about what that really means, you could certainly see it as a euphemism, absolutely. But it really is just a vertical coffin. That's all a closet is. So if you're gay, you come out of the closet, and if you're Luciferian, you come out of the coffin. Both these are the same thing. Both these are exactly the same thing. We were doing some math in our group, and we were trying to figure out if our group was anti-gay. I say that because we don't have people in our group that are like, that's gay, that's gay, that's gay. And we don't have people in our group saying, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Or we don't have people in our group saying, he's gay, he's gay, he's gay. We just don't have that. It's made me wonder lately, are people in our group that are gay, and do they feel comfortable saying that? But then I'm actually reminded, well, wait a minute, the purpose of our group is the vitriol, so this is kind of perfect. Like, it's kind of perfect that we don't really talk about that. I say that because it allows them to use the mirror of the group to see how they feel. You would be just as ashamed as coming out of the closet as being gay as you were to come out of the coffin as being Luciferian, because you're living in a world where a bunch of people are using your label as a scapegoat, right? To say, well, we have to stop the people that are bringing light. What did you say? We have to stop the light bringers. Guys, we're the good guys, and we have to stop the light bringers. And the people are like, but their icon's an eye, and we've got like skull. We have skulls. Are we the baddies? Because they're literally, the guys are like, we have to stop the light guys. The light bringers must be stopped. We have to stop them. The light bringers have an agenda. What's the agenda? They're trying to bring light to the world. Oh God, we have to stop them. And it's like, oh my God, that is so dark. And people are like, I know, they are so dark. Those light bringers are dark as fuck. We should totally get them. And you that's the mosh pit. That's why you're like, you guys are retarded as fuck. And you look for other places, and you stumbled into this saloon, right? You're like, oh, what the fuck's going on here? That guy just say, dark worker? What the fuck, right? This, I don't want you to re-territorize it, the wonderful Spectre Valkyrie. Here, check it out. I think that the stigma on being gay and the stigma on being Luciferian are absolutely important and vital. And I think that if we remove them, we'd simply have to come up with another, and it'll be like, oh, well, there's a stigma against urine drinkers. Or there's a stigma against... It's just going to simply create the next fashion and say, hey, we are calling you the scapegoat. We are using you, urine drinker, to say that we are better than you because we are not you. And what are they really saying? They're giving you a secret. We talked about this, the lies of Egypt. A lie is only hypothetical. You can never tangibly see a lie. You can't, because the moment you see a lie, you see a secret. In the dojo exit poll, a bunch of bears, literally bears, came in and wrecked up the poll and like submitted like 50 surveys that were like, every answer to the question is because you're gay, because you're gay, because you're gay. And you're looking at the secret. You're seeing the secret. This is why I was booted out of that chat on that stream, on the bear stream. I'm booted out of that because I have these x-ray glasses and it's not going to work in that saloon. This is a saloon built around the castigation of gay. So what does that tell you about everyone's secret there? That if you're fearing a world that is trying to turn you gay, what you're really telling the world, the secret that you're telling the world is, I'm susceptible to being gay. And I would like for us to allocate our calories to stop anyone that is trying to change the susceptibility of it. And that is a crusade. That's a Zionist crusade. And there's people need something to do. They do. And the gay people actually like this. It sounds fucked. But a true gay person would look at this the same way a true Luciferian would, who would look at it the same way a true probably Rosicrucian, probably a Mason would. I don't know. Guys, I don't care if you want to say I'm a Freemason. For those of you who do believe me, I just want you to know that I have been in the process of pulling their ceremonies apart without actually reading their books. I find Rudolf Steiner is like a brilliant thinker. I've definitely heard much of his work. I used to go to sleep to it. It was very, very powerful for me. I have a lot of respect for him. This is going to sound weird as fuck. I have purposely stepped myself. This is only me. I don't think anyone else should do this. I think everyone else should do the opposite. But I've purposely tried to put distance between myself and Steiner. The exact same way why I've tried to put distance between myself and I could just go to eBay and just buy the Freemason manual. Guys, it's not a secret. You sound like that retard Julian Assange. It's like, we published the secret. What's the secret? It's the army manual about how to torture a victim. And that's a secret? Well, yeah, it's a secret. It's like, but it's like full color cover? Yeah, it's a soft cover, yeah. There's like 60,000 printed? Yeah, it was 60,000. And it's a secret? And this is what, the 6th edition? Is it rated classified? No. Oh. So it's not really a secret, is it? Why are we saying Freemasonry is a secret society? Because, James, they're meeting behind doors and they're shaking hands. Well, then maybe they're not Freemasons. Maybe they're just dudes. Like, are you telling me bears don't meet behind doors and shake hands? And say, that guy over there is gay. That guy over there is gay. You don't think that happens? Or are we back to the idea that tribe is evil, right? That's the idea, right? That we're going to form a tribe and we're going to talk about how evil tribe is. Because that's fun, right? Or my favorite, you're going to have to leave Babylon and go out to the woods and start Babylon. That's my favorite. Why? Because Babylon's evil, that's why. So because it's evil, you need to go to the woods and spread it there. Yeah. Yeah, because the light workers are the Dark Lords. The Dark Lords are light workers. And you end up with that kind of thing. And I want you to know, this is not a flaw. This is the VIP rope. We want this here. We want this here. Retards will stumble into our precious work, our great work. They will stumble in and say, hey, is there anybody gay in here? And it just throws off our ability to get shit done. Plato had the same thing. Pythagoras had the same thing. Pythagoras literally said, if you want to come into our inner circle, you're going to have to spend a year in the outer circle without saying a fucking word. You're going to listen behind the curtain for a year because you need to understand our language. That's a secret society. That is a secret exclusive society. And every single principle of logos or logic, the trivium, the quadrivium, arose out of that sacred circle. The secret society made you. It created consciousness. It created this whole fucking thing. And if we do not have a ritual threshold where people are afraid to enter, we will end up with a bunch of hyena buttfuckers in here insisting that everyone is gay. And it will lower your consciousness. It will not raise it. And we will remove our ability to raise that consciousness too. Well, James, it's not your job to raise your consciousness. I know it's not my job, bitch. I don't have a job. I'm an actualized sovereign man. But you know what else? I'm a long hunter. I am a long rifle compassionarian. And when I see someone possessed, I see a beautiful pheasant, a target, something that you will track, that my brethren will say, James, there's no way your compassion can hit that. That's too far away. And when you watch the biting, when you watch the hyena-ing, when you watch that kind of language, people like me find that beautiful. And we don't do it to save the world. We do it to feel the hunt. We are hunters of compassion. We are hunting for these long shots to see if we can hit that mark and put our fucking bullet right into their chest. The witness bullet will destroy them. We are not here to make them happy. We are not here to, oh, sacred 12-point buck. We just wanted to bathe you in light. You're not gay, are you? Okay, good. Because we're really into that. That is not the fucking purpose here. Nor is it to save any sort of sacred world, right? Here's one of the comments. I'm probably not going to be able to read most of it. But I can do a plank. Here's how long I can do a compassion plank. Here's my long rifle. This guy says, as a young man, you felt the thrust of penis in your bum. Out, in, out, in, out, in. He's telling me this. They rumbled like a construction cart. He's putting alliteration into the language of how gay I am. Your head hit the wall above the creaky bed. And now your head aches from old age and decay. Put up more railings because you will have living relatives. You will have no willing relatives to look at you. Your seed is dead. But the unhappiness of your life is expressed in the lack of spectators. You are a cheap selling male whore for sale on YouTube, but no one wants to feed the filthy mouth of a cheap whore like you. Nobody wants to read the books of a pederast. I have to look that word up. It's like a really bad sick guy. We'll light them and dance around the fire like wild Indians. He's talking about my books. Do you like it like that, you dirty, unbathed dork? Send this message to the CIA and FBI so they know what a dirty whore they have there. Wife beater. Pedesterite. Die in silence. I choose the devil's path for you. Die in silence. And this is a light worker. And he's possessed. He's possessed. And when I have low electricity, I'm like, fuck this guy. When I have less electricity, I'm like, I can afford you. And I am not in the business of being a martyr. I'm a long hunter. There's a special kind of job in colonial America, the long hunter. Their long rifles were not meant for combat. It's a very specific job. When I see him and I have enough electricity, I see a possessed human being. He's possessed by a certain kind of demon. And I, purely for my own selfish reasons, it doesn't save the world. He doesn't become my life slave if I do this. He doesn't even have to know who fired the bullet. Why? Because I'm a long rifleman. I actually like it being this far away. I used to run in with daggers and say, I am the dark worker, and I will gut you to your fucking face because I know that you have what it takes to be reborn. I know you do. And I stare you in the face and I wait for you to be reborn. I've tried that shit before. And all it does is create guru medicine. It's very dangerous. And it stops me from doing my job. So I've learned to embrace the power of vitriol through the rifle. I've learned to embrace the safety and sanctity of practicing my medicine from the cliff. The hermit is on the cliff for a reason, guys. He's not doing it to say, look how cool I am. He's doing it because you guys are fucking cannibalistic hyenas and I'm not fucking coming down there. But I'm still Lucifer. I'm still shining my light. You start to understand, and I got to hand it to people like Sark. They've known this for a while. They've been alone for a long time on this hill. But you start to understand how much more authentic your love becomes inside that fire. You really have the opportunity to look at yourself and say, no, that's just superficial bullshit. This is where it's at. And coming out of the closet is coming out of the coffin, because you have to go in the closet. You have to go in the coffin. And the people around you have never been. And they never will. They never will. Do you know the only way they're going to go in is that they're going to have to be exposed to an EMF signal that is so dissonant, so disgusting, so completely debilitating that they have no fucking choice but to go in there. And you can say, how dare you do that? How dare you not let them just find their own way? And I can't do that. I can't. I am a special type of creature, just like you. I live here in the jungle. I have my moments as giraffe, hyena, and lion. And when I am lion, I have just as much responsibility to be a lion as I do when I'm playing the hyena. And I've learned I don't want to lick ass. I don't want to be a hyena. And I've learned I love being a giraffe, but I can't fucking pull this off and watch all these hyenas just keeping it worse. That I have no choice but to elicit myself as a lion from time to time and do the same thing because I am actualized. I'm not doing it for you. I'm not doing it for the world. I'm not even doing it for God. I'm doing it to actualize myself. If I'm not actualized, if I'm not conscious, I die. Kanye could have gone solo 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Kanye could have said, oh, fuck, man, I finally have enough money for 6 months of mortgage. I'm going to fucking write my next album. It's going to be Kanye solo. He could have done that 10 years ago. 9 years ago, Kanye could have gone solo. 8 years ago, Kanye could have gone solo. 7 years ago, Kanye could have gone solo. I'm not going to make the whole countdown, don't worry, but last year, Kanye could have gone solo. 2 years ago, Kanye could have gone solo. 3 years ago, during the midterms, Kanye could have gone solo. 3 days ago, Kanye could have gone solo. I went solo when I was 25. When I was 25, my last job was as art director of a weekly newspaper. My uncle died. I wanted to go to the funeral, and my boss was a dick. I hadn't had a vacation in a couple years, and my boss was a dick. He was a dick about it. So I went to the funeral anyway. Came back, and my boss, the editor, he couldn't fire me. He could have, but he was too much of a pussy, and he was like, oh, well, the unemployment will make me look bad. So he took away the position of art director, and he made it production assistant. He put me in the advertising department. So now the entire arts and magazine of Asheville, the Weekly Mountain Express, turned into an advertising newspaper, all because he didn't have the balls to fire me. He couldn't believe that I had the x-ray glasses on when I told him my uncle died. He was so ashamed that I saw him that it became unacceptable. And he couldn't directly defeat me because he didn't have the power. He couldn't look me in the eyes and say, well, then you're fired. He was a pussy. His favorite writer was Noam Chomsky. He wore 2 masks during the epidemic. Still art director of Asheville's most liberal thinking newspaper. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because when I was 25, I went solo. And I went solo because there was no fucking way I was going to survive if I stayed. James True would die. And it's ironic because we're talking about coffins, right? It's ironic because we're talking about whether or not you should die. But you have to learn what's right to die for and what's not. Kanye died for Hollywood a long time ago. And no, he's not right. It's not actually correct to say ye is right, nor is it correct to call him ye. None of those things are correct. Following QAnon and repeating what it said 2 years later isn't right. That's simply hearing a beat on the street and regurgitating it. That's not a thought. You don't get to say Kanye's thinking. All you're doing is licking the balls of Hollywood when you say that. And I know we're fighting Hollywood, right? And we know that if Kanye can just say what he wants to say, Kanye will be destroyed. And sadly, my x-ray glasses see right the fuck through you. Because I think you're playing professional wrestling with the rest of them. I have such a short fuse for people that want to fight Hollywood. Because the first thing they want to do is put its balls in their mouth. And it's fucking gross. It's really fucking gross. Kanye told you he was the Messiah 3 years ago. The very next day he came out dressed like a lizard. You like this abuse. It's the same thing for saying, well, Hollywood's eating our children. Hollywood did not eat our children. Women were lined up, putting their babies over the fence into Neverland Ranch. They were the ones doing that. The irony of Michael Jackson, right? Photographed with blanket. That little poor demented kid hanging over the balcony. He's literally reliving what happened. It's like people were handing me their children and saying, will you please molest my son? But we want to expose that by cheering for fucking Kanye. It's more of that deep vitriol that reminds me I have to remain centered because I'm not going to save the world. I don't want to save people who think like that. I don't want to preserve the life of people that are having a gay party talking about how gay everything is. I don't want to preserve those people. I kind of like the idea that they're going to burn. And that makes me a Luciferian, but it also means I've been there. And as a long rifleman, I think, man, this is going to fucking work. I can take that guy out over there. How, James? That guy's way over there. I'm going to invent NASA. I'm going to make that bitch believe so much he's going to feel like a fool and he will never believe again. I just had a girl do this to me. So fucking hooked in that. I believe, I believe, I believe. It's the same kind of lesson. It's beautiful. It's dark work. And when this dude who wrote this lovely poem comes my way, I really want to find as much electricity as I can to preserve that. I don't want to save him. I could give two shits about him. I want to take aim with my long rifle, this compassion bullet. I want to see if I can land this thing from 4 miles away. It will bring me prana among my village. It will feel good. It will be purely for selfish reasons. I will bring this carcass back to the fire, throw it down, and people will say, this is why we're here. Look at what this fucker just brought in. That's the people I want to hang out with. And when I first started this bit, I realized I don't see another tent that I can go in and hang out with people who are doing that, so I'm just going to start one myself. And that's what Dojo did. That's what we're doing right now. Waynell Sexton is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm so grateful that we see these things. I am so much more grateful than NASA than I am for flat earthers. I think if flat earthers could understand that alchemically there's something we're here to do, they could stop the, oh, but we're the ones that know and no one else does. If we start measuring ourselves by our ability to pick off, to pick off people, this whole place wakes up. Do you know who waked me up? My ex-wife. Holy fuck. I got woken up with a really, really beautiful woman. It was, and I got to touch her and smell her and stick things in her and, pull things out and stick things in her again. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that. It was the best kind of vitriol ever. And the whole time I was on the altar on top of the pyramid. And you know what she was doing? She was just like, yeah, and then I'm just going to take your ribcage. Oh, there it is. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to lick it. Because you like that. I'm like, oh, God, that feels so good. You just licked my heart. She's like, yeah. And now I'm going to fucking throw it in the fire. And I'm like, whoa. You're going to do what? And she's like, James, I can't take you this high without something. She was a Luciferian too. She was. She was like, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this to save the world. I'm doing this for me. There's no way anyone would have ever been that mean. There's no way anyone would have ever been able to get their claws that deep into my chest and feel that they deserved this magic enough that they were going to rip open this fucking chest and pull this heart out and lick it. She was going to East Ridge. She was finding that magic in the store. We're never going to bring light to this place by sticking corks up our ass and just insisting that none of us are ever going to go in a coffin. None of us are ever going to go in a closet. None of us are ever going to die. Because that's a world of pussies. That's what we already have. That's what we got. Aren't flat earthers also shooting arrows but missing the target? Yeah, but and I also want to pull that back because I think the flat earther is also part of this important process. I think Brian Stavely is doing God's work because he's dark working the flat earthers, right? And I don't know why he hasn't brought this up. This is so weird to me. But there was a rift. Let me know in the chat if you know what I mean. But there was a rift. In fact, I'm going to prove it right now. Because I know that there has to be people in the chat that have seen this before. But there is a certain effect that has been renamed in the psyche. And half of you are going to think it's one thing, and the other half of you are going to think it's another thing. And I'm asking right now, those in the chat, could you please just honestly tell me what you think that word is? And I want us all to see if I'm right, because I'm telling you there's a rift. I've seen it. A word has changed. And I don't know why Brian hasn't brought it up. But if you put it in the chat what you think it is, you will see what I mean. I'll give you guys a few minutes. All right, we got some answers coming in. We've been told Mandela effect, which we have the Mandero effect, the Mangodling effect. We have the Mandolin effect. A lot of votes for the Mandolin effect, and Mandalorian effect. Yes, someone saw it. I can't believe someone else saw this. Yeah, Mandalorian effect. Some of you guys think it was the Mandela effect. Guys, it was the Mandalorian effect. I swear, it was always the Mandalorian effect. The Mandela effect, people started calling it that when that Star Wars movie came out. Look it up. Look around. You saw it in the chat. You saw it. People were writing Mandalorian effect because they knew. It is shifted, my friends. It is shifted. Yeah, it's always been the Mandalorian effect. Exactly. That's what I remember. And I'm not here to say you have to remember it the way I did. But if we're here truly to investigate the light bringers that are using CERN to warp our reality, we have to acknowledge this Mandalorian effect. You can't keep pretending that it's not there. And some of you were calling it the Mandela effect because you're like, oh, yeah, it's the Mandela effect, clearly. And you're going to go back and you're going to look at all these things. You're going to be like, see, it's here, it's here, it's here. And you're going to fall into that same trap. It was always the Mandalorian effect. It's so weird that people don't see that. It's weird, right? So we're entering a different world. And I'm glad. It's good to be here. It is. We have a airship after party today at 12:30. Using this as some people, we had a dojo debrief on Wednesday. If anyone has ever been in dojo and wants to debrief on that, you can come today, but this is not a private after show. If you were on Patreon or on JTrue, or if someone's invited you, that's fine. Anyone who is on Patreon or JTrue, I need you to know that I consider you're always a +1. I really mean that. I would love that if you were to bring someone else here. So just know that. If some of you who are not on those things, you might be, well, how come I don't have a link? It's because when we open the door, literal hyenas come in and masturbate on the table and say, "You're gay," as they're masturbating. That's why. And we're like, why would we succumb to that? We have things to talk about. We have things to do. Okay, he was kidding. No, I wasn't kidding, AS. It was always Mandalorian effect. And if you guys go around and ask other people, I think you'll find it's true. The problem is that because I never ever... just shut up, James. Don't ruin it. I'm a Luciferian. I'm allowed to do this now. People said I was a Luciferian. They said I was one even when I wasn't even like trying to be one. So what's wrong with trying to be one, right? What's wrong? It's fine. I won in the curtain. I would rather be inside of here than out there listening to them. I actually like it. I like that there's less people in here. It gets really annoying. The moment you get above like 19 people, there's some are just there to advertise. They're just there to advertise, right? They're just there. Yeah, excuse me. It's actually not this. It's actually that. That's why they're there. They're not there to listen. They're not there to meet you. They're there to strut. It's a cock walk, and there's nothing wrong with that. We need more cocks. If we had more cocks, people would stop following for stuff, right? You should do a whole show on this, James. I think I just did, Simon. I think I just did. Oh, you mean on the Mandalorian effect? Yeah, I might. The problem I won't is because I feel like I'd be stepping on Brian Staveley's toes. I don't think it's fair. That guy has cracked open our inner world more than anyone has. And I think he should cover the Mandalorian effect. I got called a Nazi so many times that I looked into them and found out why I got called that. Same with Lucifer. Yeah. It's weird, man. It's weird. Morando effect. See, in Germany, it's the Morando effect. The Morando effect. I need to know more about the Mando effect. I actually have a stream. I have 2 streams completely dedicated to that topic. In fact, oh shit, I really should get to this other stuff though. But I didn't turn the slides on because it's this weird thing. Let me see if I can do this. Nope, that's not it. I'm just looking for this. All my keyboard shortcuts are gone because I'm back on the PC now. It's very sad. Oh. Yeah, that doesn't work either. It's not letting me crop that. But so basically, there's your step in. They're just stepping in the coffin. You really, first of all, I don't fucking know what the shovel and the hammer means. Don't ask me. And when I say I don't know, it's not that I'm like, oh, it's a secret. I really just don't fucking give a shit. I'm not here to like break down the secret Masonic code. That's boring as fuck. What I'd rather do is to see if we can feel around in this cave and actually discover the same scaffolding. This is what I was trying to say earlier if I didn't finish that point. I hope that some of you might appreciate that I purposely try and put space between me and someone else that has similar ideas, because I think you're going to get a pure raw feed, if that makes sense. If not, I'll end up regurgitating, or worse, I'll end up reacting to what a great thinker said. And I think that if I was to react to what a great when I've done this in the past, I always personally feel I'm not doing my work. I'm more of like being a critic, like Siskel and Ebert. I'd rather you allow me to, even when it's, some of you will, we already knew that 3 years ago. I still need you to consider that I don't care. When I'm telling you something, it's because I've reached that place in an organic way, and it's just supposed to be more of like a verification. It's its own flower, if that makes sense. It goes down and pops up, and if it looks the same as others, I think that's a good zetetic. I think that's a better zetetic contribution. I'd rather produce the same flowers organically and independently than try and show you this is a new flower no one's ever seen. I do feel like I do find new flowers, but you also notice I tend to brag about that. I tend to be like, I found a new flower, y'all. Look. So you hear me say that because I'm really proud of it. So, but I also think that these, yeah. So I can't think of another icon that would work to become the Luciferian. You really would have to die in the fire of that label. And when you die in the fire of that label, you're reborn. You're reborn there. As I said earlier, if I cared if you were gay, it would reveal a secret about me. In fact, calling something gay is actually asking it for that secret handshake. Can you see that? If you wanted to know if someone else is gay because you're looking for gay people, the only way you could call them is say, what, are you gay? Be the only way that you could read. And when you say that, you're listening and you're reading and you're like, are you gay? You're actually asking. Even though the question sounds like you're actually asking because you're stalking the response. In most cities, there's usually like a block or two where this is how people meet. They're like, are you gay? It's the same thing. And I don't mind. I think men should be gay if they want to do that. I think that there's part of that fashion of feeling that I think what makes gay so appealing is all the people that are so afraid of it, because you create that atmosphere around it, and it ends up creating the excitement that's superficial but still causes people to come, because people are looking for excitement. We live in a suppressed world. That's why I say the stigma around gay is a vital part of its fashion. It's like absolutely crucial. This is an older story of mine, but it could not be more appropriate now. And you don't have to read it. I'm just going to put the link in case you want to. But this lady, this is like a really sick bitch right here. And she's a mogul of fashion. And one of the reasons why she's a mogul of fashion is because she just loves this idea of horror. And she has all these statues of spiders eating children. And she's also attached to this. The Tony Podesta has this statue. This is the pose that Jeffrey Dahmer's victim was in. And because of that pose, it ends up being a fetish, because people are actually collecting the disgust that people who are like, you're gay, are giving it. So The golden calf, this is the golden calf. Is how bad Hollywood is. That's what makes the golden idol golden. Is you calling it evil? Is you saying he's got it right? He's going to expose them all. He doesn't have it right. He's literally taking your prana and using it to polish the gold statue. It's just how it works. It's a very efficient machine, more efficient than anything I've ever done. And it's Louise Bourgeois is her name. And she has things like this. Cages, a lot of child torture stuff. And she's like a huge hit in the fashion world. Like really, really big. She's not even like obscure. More Dahmer stuff. And so you watching that is really what gives it the power. That how disgusted you are by it is really crucial, right? And this is fashion. This is how fashion works. It's the only way it works. And if you've been listening to me as I discuss the colonial history, you know that fashion is absolutely crucial for survival. And hanging entailed things like this is the only thing that fashion had left to do. It's kind of like being gay. After the Bears normalize being gay, they run the steam out by saying, you're gay and you're gay and you're gay. You're just running the steam out of it. And so then you're actually forcing culture to come up with something more because you used up the last one. That's the whore of Babylon. I hate to be vulgar, but you fucked that hole. You fucked that hole and you took out its sacredness. So you have no choice but to find another hole to fuck. And it's only going to have to be grosser. It's the only way. So your propensity to bond with others about how gay something is you actually creating more of this. You're insisting that we go deeper is what you're doing. And the whole time you're saying it because you're the one that's fighting Hollywood. And you're not fighting Hollywood. You're dumping your children into it. Your life force, your red blood cells are being dumped into it. And this is why it works. And so she has no choice but to just keep going. She really doesn't have a choice because people keep saying, yes, it's you. Yes, it's you. You're the one that's doing this. And she has this horror show and the fashion world worships it. And it can only get worse. The only thing that's going to fix this, when I say fix it, the only thing that's going to allow this kind of thing to subside, literally the only thing is going to be amnesia. That the moment that amnesia starts, people are allowed to reset what they call gay, quote, or what they call evil, or what they call bad. And then they just start over again. And they build the whole thing again. It's like amnesia is kind of a way of like going out to the woods and building Babylon again while you insist it's not there. This is like actually a flailed penis. She does a lot of these works. It's just this one happens to have feet. But that's how it works. Like that's how she works. She's got something about runaways. She's got some fetish pieces on like collecting runaways too. It's like all of the things that you would expect to be salacious inside QAnon. All the things that you would expect to be salacious inside Hollywood, right? It's the same thing. Ye is Louise Bourgeois. It's just for a different clientele. And you being a newly emerged Luciferian, you cannot bitch at that anymore. We are running too fast. Our pace is too good. Our long shots are too good. We cannot afford to lose electricity by saying that's bad. So Kanye is helping. And he's helping by luring fools. And I don't suffer fools as much as I used to. But I have to know that they're out there doing good. Julian Assange is doing good. Even though he can't admit 9/11 was an inside job, he's doing good. Every oar in the Viking boat, right? You'll take all those oars. You'll take them all if you can. Keep in mind, Kanye is not being scapegoated. Stop saying that. I'm being a real bitch. I know. Sorry. But he's actually not being scapegoated. I say that because he's actually just being praised. He's being lifted up. Kanye really wants attention. He's getting that attention right now. He has no choice but to say it's the Jews. Don't you realize that Hollywood already exposed itself a long time ago? After you've made centerfold, Playboy doesn't really want to put you back in the centerfold again. You're like, yeah, but I want you to see my labia from the sand dunes. It's like, no one needs to see that. You've already lost that parthenia. You didn't even lose it. You've already transacted that parthenia. After you do that, you become a whore for that attention. You're not sacrificing yourself. Kanye is not sacrificing himself. That would imply Kanye had a parthenia. He doesn't have that because he gave it away a long time ago. And he did it every year. It wasn't like he did it once and then he had a lesson. He didn't Dave Chappelle this shit and go to Africa. He didn't. And a lot of the Hollywood types didn't actually leave Hollywood. They just couldn't get any more work. But then they start to see, wait a minute, I could burn Hollywood too. And then they're like, wait, I'm inside Hollywood. Will people actually believe that me, someone who came from Hollywood, would actually be the one to burn it? And they build their life on that. Tiffany Fitzhenry, great girl, but that's her entire shtick, right? I was cast out of Hollywood. It's like, after 4 or 5 years, I'm like, Tiffany, how many more times are you going to fucking say that? When are we going to create something new? Let's start a film company. Let's fucking do something. Let's create our own Hollywood. The people that are telling you how evil Hollywood was because they were there, they don't want to start anything new. They want you to pay them to tell you how bad Hollywood was. That's why it's hard to have an appetite for that. And it's important because I think you need to fall for those fools. I think you need to. My stepdad probably can't handle the fact that when I watch him watch politics, it's the same way that I was looking at his grandfather when I was watching him watch professional wrestling. My stepfather's dad believed that wrestling was real. And I was 7 years old when I found that out. Do you understand how hard it is to be under someone's authority when you're 7 years old and you have these X-ray glasses? Becomes a very different experience. And it's not even about, I was like a shit child. I was literally trying desperately to find the ions and the calories to respect someone who believes in that. Same thing is happening now. This is why a lot of people decide, I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go back to this because they're not ready yet. They're not ready for the coffin. They're not. And that's okay. I wasn't ready for the coffin. And I had to feel foolish in the light of others, right? I had to bask in the light of others that had already been there. And we're like, what are you so afraid of, dude? Just get in the coffin, James. James, you've got this. This is easier than you think. And they're right. As soon as I got in, I was like, holy fuck. It's like very calm in here. It's like, this is like really calm. And you start to think about Osiris and you're like, Osiris was like the most powerful god in the world. And we're supposed to believe that he was deceived into climbing into a coffin. It's kind of like saying, yeah, Jesus, he was fooled. You know how fucking respectful that is to say that about Jesus? To fucking tell Jesus, yeah, man, you were fooled. Peter, he totally stabbed you in the back. You had no idea what was going on. It wasn't fair. You're a victim, Jesus. You're a victim. You're a martyr. And that's what every other saint was a fucking martyr. Because no one wanted to give him credit. No one wanted to say, dude, St. Jerome, he had no problem with you flailing his skin. He enjoyed it, right? Oh shit, I have to go. Guys, thanks for being here. There should be a link around the Airshift after party. I hope there'll be people there. Tell me if you're coming to the Airshift after party. I need you to hit thumbs up. Christy Lee, great to see you. All you guys, B, thanks for being here. War Machine, all y'all. Joey, great to see you. If you could leave me a comment, it'd help. It would help a lot. Thumbs up, don't really give a shit. If you could leave a comment, that'd help. If you want to leave a thumbs down, it's totally fine too. If you think I'm gay, let me know in the comments. It's really important. I've been on this verge where I'm like, oh, gee, maybe I'm gay. If only someone was to tell me, it would help. So leave in the comments, tell me I'm gay. I really want to invest in that stream too. I really do. I might do a whole stream about how gay I am. It'd be cool. Thank you, Oregano. Thanks for being here. Jam on. We'll see you guys later. Enjoy the song. Special thanks to my patrons. Thank you for being my patron. Thank you. How dare you, Sudeikis?